Okay, so 1.3 for today's lesson is absolute value. And these are standards. Okay, so our learning objective is that we will be able to find and use absolute value. So absolute value is basically the distance of a given number to 0 on a number line. And the one thing you always have to remember is absolute value is always positive. And the reason is because absolute value is the distance, so the distance has to always be positive. There's no such a thing as negative distance. So that's what it is. And the symbol that we use are basically two vertical bars like that. So if I was to have a -3, so basically I'm saying the absolute value of -3, and then I'll have to find the answer right there. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So if I have, so let me do this right here. Okay, so if I have absolute value of 3, okay, what it means is if I were to draw that on a number line, so if I were to graph 3 is right here. Now the distance from 3 to 0 will be 1, 2, and 3. So then the answer will be 3 right here, okay? If I were to draw this one right here, if I were to graph it on a number line, which will be -3 right here, for me to get to 0, I still have to jump 3 times. So therefore that this is also 3, okay? And this one right here, what if we have a -50? Well, I'm going to look at my number line. And if I had, so if I go by tens and I'm, sorry. So if I go by tens and that's my -50, you know, what's the distance from here to 0 on the number line? It will be 50, just positive 50, okay? So there is a pattern that we see. They have the same digits. The only difference is that they're always positive, okay? So please do not think that absolute values are opposites, okay? But they are positive because the distance has to always be positive, okay? So we know, for instance, that I have an absolute value of 3 is 3, and the absolute value of -3 equals to 3, okay? So when they're positive, it's exactly the same number, but when they're negatives, we have to make that a positive because it's the distance, okay? So that's it for absolute value. Make sure to review and ask questions if that's needed. God bless you.